What's good? What's good? What's good? Let's talk about Indiana versus Minnesota. I don't know. Fever keep coming into people's houses, set up in y'all trap and taking y'all stuff. Like I don't understand how y'all letting the Fever just pull up and take whatever they want. Y'all been talking spicy before this season, and I'm only Connecticut has been the one to be like, hey, bro, we standing on business around here. New York as well. Minnesota showed up. Seemed like they was ready to play from the start. Indiana pulled up in Minnesota, looking to get a good win on the road. They've been rolling as of late. They lost to the Mystics, but they've been playing pretty good despite the 0-5 start and how shaky it was looking in the beginning. Both teams turned the ball over a bunch. 12 for Indiana, 14 for Minnesota. 40 points in the paint for Indiana. They was feasting down there. Leah Boston getting pretty much whatever she wanted down there. So Leah Boston led them with a double-double in the first half, 5 for 6 from the floor. The only one in double figures at the break. Closest people behind was Kelsey Mitchell and Caitlin Clark with 7 apiece. 3 for 9 for Caitlin Clark, 3 for 11 for Kelsey Mitchell. But I will say this. They competed the whole game. When it came down to crunch time and getting a timely bucket, I tell you, Kelsey Mitchell, Leah Boston. In the fourth quarter, Caitlin Clark. Minnesota went cold down the stretch. Indiana started making shots. And there you have the result of the game. I'm just not sure what happened to Minnesota. I know they went cold in that second half, but it just felt like they never really got back into a rhythm. They were never really able to respond to Indiana's runs late in that game. I'm not sure why Nalissa Smith was on the bench for, the fourth quarter. And it's a little weird. She decided to ride out with Katie Lou Samuelson, Aaliyah Boston, Kelsey Mitchell, Caitlin Clark, Lexi Hall, who, Lexi Hall been, I feel like she should be in the starting lineup over Katie Lou. You start her, Nalissa Smith, Caitlin, Kelsey Mitchell, and Boston. A solid and big lineup. We don't talk enough about Nalissa Smith's effort. Getting them timely O boards, kicking it out to the shooters. Swing, 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 getting Minnesota in rotation. Not really sure why she didn't play that fourth quarter. But they got the W, so, winning cures all. Kind of takes over all the narratives. You lose, then people start to nitpick at things, but I digress. I'm not sure where the fuck K-Mac was in this game. I don't know if if she knew she had a game. 4 for 14, 11 points. That's not going to cut it, especially if Nafisa Collier's not playing. You're going to have to step up a little bit better than that. I don't know. Are they starstruck? Are they getting the yips? Are they just folding? Are they, or is Indiana just that good? They got, 4 lottery picks in their starting lineup, so maybe it's just starting to come together for them. And they starting to gel at the right time. Got the Olympic break coming up, but nonetheless, I'm not sure where K-Mac was. She didn't show up. Courtney Williams, 4 for 9. She didn't really show up. Alana Smith was the one who showed up in the beginning, 15 in that first half, but only 3 in the second half. So Cecilia Zandalicini, 10 points, 3 for 8 from the floor. Just didn't shoot well at all. Last I checked, Indiana was not at the top of the list in defense, but they got them key timely stops. They got out and ran. A little extra motivation going against Cheryl Reeve since, everybody feel like Caitlin Clark got snubbed on the Olympic roster, which with these injuries, I'm not sure. And Enrique taking her name out the mix, I'm not sure how the Olympic roster shakes out. I see they got De'Erica Hamby to, replace Brink. Indiana's just gelling at the right time. Minnesota's really missing Nafisa. She's definitely, their anchor on defense and obviously a bucket. Averaging a double-double this year, so of course you're missing Nafisa Collier. 20 points, 10 boards, 3.7 assists a game. I believe that they would have won if Nafisa was healthy, but, injuries happen. It's a part of the game. But I think we don't talk enough about Kelsey Mitchell. She could be 0 for 10, but she's shooting that next one like she knows going in. Like, if she been on the heater the whole game. She got that key fucking block at the end of the game to seal the win for him. I feel like they don't get enough credit. I feel like Aaliyah Boston, Kelsey Mitchell, Alyssa Smith getting them extra possessions for them don't get talked about enough because they really brought it home for them. Caitlin Clark, the first 3 quarters was off. Couldn't get nothing to drop, no real rhythm. And in the fourth, turned it up and managed to get a couple of foul calls. Got 5 free throws at the end there and sealed the game with a couple of key assists. And then Kelsey Mitchell with the block and just timely buckets from Boston and just down the stretch, just getting it done. Solid W for Indiana. Looking good. They didn't beat a couple of playoff teams. Seattle, Vegas, Connecticut, who are, title contenders. And they're going to be kicking themselves for that loss, that's for sure. Shout out to Indiana for getting it done. Minnesota plays Atlanta next. I'm sure they'll bounce back, get the W. Atlanta, not really, their record doesn't necessarily reflect the talent that they have, but they are one of those teams that are struggling. So they'll be looking to get a win, bounce back after dropping the ball against Indiana. Indiana's next game is Dallas. Battle of the tough shot takers and the tough shot makers. With Arike, Caitlin Clark, Tierra McCowan matching up with Aaliyah Boston. I don't think Dallas had Odyssey Sims when they played Indiana last. A different looking Dallas team. They got Odyssey Sims in the lineup. I'm pretty sure she's going to be the primary defender of Caitlin Clark, trying to make it difficult for her, picking her up 94 feet. Odyssey Sims is a dog on D, and she gonna compete, that's for sure. Honestly interested to see. I'm not going to say she don't matter on the offensive end, but Arike and other players can pick up her slack if she go all in on the defense against Indiana. They did win last time. Alyssa Smith had 20 points, 20 and 5. Caitlin Clark had 21. Neither of them shot very well from the field. Odyssey Sims being that on-ball defender might tip the scales in their favor, but Indiana's been rolling, so we'll see how it go. The last time they played, you had Jaylen Brown with 21, 7 for 15 from the floor. Got 10 from Natasha Howard. She didn't shoot it great, 4 for 11. Arike gave you 19, 9 to 24. Tierra McCowan followed that up with 8. But I think if Tierra McCowan can establish herself early in this game, Arike hit a couple shots opening up the paint for her. And the way she crashes the old boards, I feel like, it's going to be a good game. It's going to come down to the wire. It'll be a competitive game going down the stretch. I can't imagine it being a blowout. That's my spiel.